Hello and welcome to today's episode. I have a juicy topic coming to you today. If you are not new and you've been following along with the episodes, even though this is a general platform about leadership, I want to begin this conversation with understanding that the reason why I'm talking about a lot of things recently here about how you can make better changes in your life is because the real purpose of leadership is to show up in an energy in a form that is much higher than what it is that you experience on your own day to day. And it's about inspiring people to get behind you, and it's about influencing people to get behind a cause or a mission. And influence doesn't come from you applying to a leadership title and getting the job. It doesn't apply to you forming your own company and having to hire people under you. The true ability for you to be a successful and impactful leader all stems from your ability to actually be someone that is inspirational and inspiring and influential. And so at the end of the day, if a lot of the times you feel like you're struggling with burnout and struggling with all of the other difficulties that come along with being in a position that is a leadership position, a lot of what can alleviate the stress and the lack of balance and the losing yourself in the process of giving yourself and your all to either your mission, your cause, your organization, your team, whatever, is by coming back to the self and getting grounded in who you are. And until you do that, what you're going to find is these mirrors that come up in your life, in your job, in your team, and all of the things that show you where internally you need to turn in and do some work around the process of what it truly means to be a leader. Or it may be a reflection of the fact that for you, maybe you don't want to be a leader, especially a leader in the capacity that you've been. But either way, these little things that you may be experiencing should be triggers for you to do self reflection and introspection. Because if you truly do want to be where you are, or you want to move further, or you want to soar higher, whether that be professionally or personally, then it is easy to do once you learn the things that I'm teaching you about. And so specifically when we talk about changing our life, or changing our life and stepping into 2023 in this energy of really truly being who it is that we say that we want to be or who we think that we want to be, then we really have to understand truly what it means to go through the processes and emotions of understanding change and allowing that change to overcome you and you become that change. And until you understand that that is the process behind what you need to do to experience better relationships, less job stress, more balance, more health, or any other things that it is, whatever it is that you want, until you understand the process for doing that, you're going to struggle and you're going to make these empty promises to yourself. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to understand that living the life that you really want to live is comprised of these steps that you do over and over again. And again, I've said this time and time again, and you've seen my client success stories time and time again, while they say that the steps are simple, it's going to be as easy or as hard as you make it, depending on how fast you stop doing the things that you have been trying over and over and over again that aren't working, and finally step into something new, something that's proven and something that works. So, a lot of these episodes, as we start to wrap up this year, are geared toward helping you to take the steps that you need to take in order to create the change, as well as the opportunity that I'm going to tell you about at the end of these broadcasts that you can take for yourself and finally do what it is that you need to do to make some of the bigger changes that you want in your life. Because chances are, if you are drawn to my content, it's not because you want to have this basic mediocre life in this little bubble where you do life the same every year, year after year, and nothing is changing. You probably have been drawn to me because you're someone that feels deep down in your soul that you want more for yourself and you started to take those steps for yourself, but sometimes maybe you get lost or you just need a little help and assistance. And so you love to hear information that's going to help take you further, or you may be at the beginning stages of your journey where you feel deep down in your heart that you've been settling in life. And we all don't want maybe like the career, the money, all the things, but whatever it is that you feel is called for you to experience in life, and you feeling like you make excuses for why you don't do what it is that you say that you need to do. Maybe you're drawn to me because you know that you need a little bit of a kick in the butt to be able to move forward and do those things effectively. So, that's a little bit of a spiel so you can know what we're going to be talking about from now until I think my last broadcast that I'm going to be scheduling is around the 22nd. So you have some lessons that you can go through, but you also, again, at the end of these broadcasts, pay attention because there's an opportunity for you to get the help and support that you need in order to move into 2023 with more intention. We only have a limited amount of time and a limited amount of attention or whatever you focus on. And so, if you want to truly make these changes and you want to make them faster and stop wasting time and energy and all the things and really learn what it means to be able to experience the things that you feel inside your heart are meant for you, then you need to be able to embody these things and do it very quickly. And I don't mean quickly in a frantic pace. I mean, do it very quickly in that you actually make the changes that you want to make and they're lasting changes and you understand what it is that you need to do so that this time the steps that you move can be the steps that you experience can be successful. So that way you almost are speeding up time or collapsing time because you're getting a lot of the goals that you want to accomplish done in less time so you can move on and move forward to some other things that you want to accomplish in life instead of being stuck in this cycle of these false promises you make to yourself that never get done. All right. So that's my little disclaimer for the rest of 2022. Now, today we're going to be talking about three simple steps or three simple tips to help you to change for good. These are going to be some simple steps or tips. And if you understand what I'm going to be talking to you about today, then that can get you on your way to actually making these changes, making them stick, and stop wasting time saying that you're going to change, or stop wasting time in this pattern where you feel stuck when you don't have to be. So, the first tip that I want you to understand is that you need to understand what embodiment is. And this is a term that used to confuse the heck out of me because they'd be like, you got to be embodied or embody it. And I'd be like, what the are you talking about? What does that mean? So, in a very simplistic way, I want you to think of embodiment as changing how you identify yourself or your self concept of who you are. We all have these stories due to our conditioning and our experiences that we've had throughout life that have shaped us into the person that we are today. And for some reason, a lot of us think that just because of our conditioning and our past experiences and the personality that we have now, that we can't change whatever it is that we want to change in order to move forward and switch our identity to that in which we desire that will get us closer to the things that we want to get. But the truth is, it is all malleable and it is all under your control. And so, if you truly want to make the changes that you want to make, then you have to understand that it's not about putting a goal on a piece of paper or looking at the things that you want to accomplish from the person that you are now. It's about understanding that you have to give form to the ideas and the thoughts and the beliefs and the goals and the dreams that you have written down or that you want to accomplish. And the way that you give form to these ideas is through the you expressing them. So, for instance, if one of your goals was to have better loving connections with the people in your life, then it's not about looking outside of yourself. So you don't make any changes about yourself, right? You just try to force these changes through the current way that you identify yourself, which is this is me, this is how I show up, this is my personality, take it or leave it. And I'm about to show up and try to make this relationship more loving. In order for you to experience the love that you want in your relationships too, it's not about your partner doing whatever that you want them to do in order for them to express more love. You can't control other people. We all have these different journeys that we're on in our life. What you need to truly understand is that if you want to have love in your life, then you have to embody love. You have to give form to the idea. You have to be the expression of the love. And so, if you thought about that, then how would you show up in your relationship? How would you change who you currently are versus a person that is the expression of love? Same thing with anything. If you are someone, you guys know that for a while I had mine was getting in shape, right? I think I'm doing good now, but for a long time, you guys have watched the journey of me saying that that's something that I was going to do, but I'd never embodied somebody that was in shape or fit. And so, what would that mean? If I just put it on the paper like I did for at least maybe 3 to 5 years, getting in better shape, eating right, all the things, but I didn't embody it, I didn't give expression and form to the idea of being a healthy person, then what did you witness me do year after year? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely the same body that I had last year, the year before, the year before, the year before. But what had to change for me to actually finally make the shift was to go into the embodiment part and understand or ask myself, well, how can I give form to health? How can I give form to fitness? And the way that I give form to that is that I can no longer identify with this lazy person that ate like crap that was trying to get in shape, because that makes it much harder to do through the embodiment of the identity that I had before I got, finally took this journey seriously. The embodiment of somebody that is fit and that is healthy is that they eat right, they exercise right, they take care of their mental health. They actually are that person. They're not becoming that person, they are that person. And that took me a while. It took a while for that to click in me. And even sometimes still, I find myself, because if you didn't watch the last episode, go watch the last episode about the physiological changes that have to occur also for the change to stick. But it took me a while to make these changes stick because I would always slip back into the way that we've been taught to make changes in our life, and as to show up as the Yashika that I am today and figure out what the goals that I want, and then try to achieve those goals without the embodiment piece. And once I understood the embodiment piece, everything clicked. Once I understood that I had to be a form of expression for the things that I wanted, and expression just means how can I, let's think of it as an actor or an actress. When they're embodying their character, they're being their character fully. So if you were to embody the things that you wanted to accomplish, that means that you are becoming that person fully in the now. That doesn't mean that there's a goal that's far away from you and you're trying to accomplish it from who you are now. That means no, you will embody the characteristics of whatever it is that you want. And slowly but surely, actually, not slowly but surely, the faster that you can do that and the more consistent that you can do that, the more rapidly you're going to see experiences around you change. The more consistently that I can embody a new character that is already fit and already healthy, even though that I don't see that on my body now, but if I can embody that internally and be that person, then think how much faster I'm going to be fit and I'm going to be healthy than somebody that is still looking at that goal from outside of themselves as something that they have to reach. You guys, if you understand this, this will change everything in your life because you can apply it to any goal. How can you embody a leader? Well, what are the traits that you think that a leader should have? And some of these are, if you've never seen a leader, then you need to go and you need to find an example of somebody that has done or embodies, expresses the character traits that you want to have in yourself. And then you learn how to model that until they become your own expression. You make them your own. But let's say that you wanted to be a better leader and you wanted to experience more professionalism in your career, then it's not about looking at all of the things external to you that are wrong with the situation that you are in now. it's about, well, how can I embody? How can I express? How can I be the fullest form and expression of what it means to be a leader? And this is totally different from fake it till you make it. I hope you understand this. This is, you are actually not faking it because you are doing it in the now. And then all the other things around you will catch up. People will treat you different. Other opportunities will open up for you. Um, Things will become easier for you as you embody the traits of a leader. A leader is someone that can critically think and make decisions and problem solve and do all the things. So you're going to learn to step outside of the old identity that you've had into this new, better identity. And yes, you may need tools and skills and teaching and learning to get there, but embodying it where you are and continuing to grow from that baseline of expressing who it is that you want to be. Think how much faster things are going to get better for you when you learn how to do embodiment. So that's number one. That's the number one tip that I can give you. And we could talk about that all freaking day because that's huge. All right. So number two, and this might have should have been probably first, no particular order. So just take them all and think about them all and how you can integrate them into your change management plan for yourself for 2023. And it's gaining clarity on the real you. So, as much as you want to step into this new identity, you want to embody the things that you need to embody in order to accomplish your goals. Again, think about my health example. I have to embody being healthy and fit now, not later, now. And the quicker that I can do that, the faster I'm going to get healthy and fit. So you have to think about also who you are really and who I am, who I was really before I embodied the identity of someone that was fit and healthy, was someone that was not fit, that was not healthy, that was lazy, in the physical sense, very lazy about getting shit done, making excuses for not having the time when I truly did have the time, because all it takes is a half an hour a day. It's not wanting to eat healthy when it took just as the same amount of time to make a healthy dinner as it does a non-healthy dinner. Like all of that was who I was, and I had to be real with myself. And what I really hate about the culture that we're in right now is that yes, there are stressful things that go on in our life. And yes, we do need to take some time to be able to make space to process some of the stressful things that we have in our life. But it's almost like we've taken that and we've taken it to the extreme where we now have a pass to just, oh, you know what? Yeah, life is stressful. So, you know what? It's okay if you don't do this, or it's okay if you don't do that. So we give ourselves these excuses and these passes not to embody the traits that we know that we want to embody in order to live a life that is more fully expressed, that is more fully who we truly want to be. So I want you to think about that the next time that you are trying to think about a change. I want you to gain clarity on who you really are. If you're somebody that is saying that you want, maybe your goal is to get fit and save money and be a better partner and crush it at your job, and then you look at who you are embodying right now, I bet that you're going to see gaps. And the more honest that you can be about where you are versus where you want to be is going to help you to understand that it's not that you don't have what it takes to accomplish what it is that you want, is that you have been in a comfort zone, a bubble, and not really gaining clarity on the situation in order to do what it is that you need to do. So therefore you feel like you're stuck, or you feel like you can't make progress, or you feel like everything's hard, or you feel like you should give yourself a pass. When again, the faster that you can take this embodiment or this identity shift and apply it to you in your being, you're going to be living a better life. You're going to be not wasting time and time year after year, month after month, living in a way that you don't want to live and making an excuse for it because that's the thing to do now. We don't want to be hard on ourselves. See, this doesn't have to be hard because truly, all in all, when you learn how to gain clarity on the real you and the you that you really want to be, the real you now and the you that you really want to be, what you're going to find is that once you gain clarity on this, it won't be hard. You won't be being hard on yourself because you are put on this earth to be the fullest expression of who you are. And the fullest expression of who you are is reflected in the things that you say that you want that you're not focusing on or turning your attention to. And if you turn your attention to the things and the desires that you have in your heart, you're going to find that you won't feel like it's being hard on yourself, because once you embody it, it just is who you are. And think about somebody that's already fit or already loving or already a great leader. They're not trying to do it. It's just it's who they already are. So it's not hard for them to be that. And if you figure out what it is that you want in life and you learn to be that, it will not be hard for you either. But because you have a disconnect from these tips that I'm trying to tell you, you struggle and you have pain and all of this stuff for no reason at all, when it could be solved much more simply and much more easily than you think that it has to be. So then the third tip is to gamify it. So if you go back and listen to the episode previous to this, where I talked about the two things that have to occur in parallel in order for you to make a change and make it lock in, make it stick. So until these two things lock in and stick, there is going to be this period of resistance that you're going to have to overcome. Like when I'm working out, I've been working out almost every day now, and every time I put those damn shoes on, I still don't want to do it. But I my new identity is somebody that works out, so I'm just gonna do it even if I don't feel like it. But what I'm gonna have to do until I have that physiological part of myself hardwired in my brain to fully lock in that to that person that loves to work out, is I have to gamify it. And gamify it can be a lot of things. If it's fitness, for some of you, it might be closing your rings on your Apple Watch, but it could be other things that may occur. Maybe for you, for me, and the way that I teach my clients, it usually starts with a habit tracker. And the more that you can start to solidify and lock in the traits, the characteristics, and embody what it is that you want to be through your habit tracker, you're going to find that once you lock it in, it becomes you. And then it's not hard, and then you don't have to be hard on yourself, and change doesn't have to be hard, and all the things. So those are my three simple tips on how you can change for good. Now here is the opportunity that I'm offering to you if you are serious about really learning some of the things that I'm talking about today, in order for you to shift into a different energy in your life. I mean, sometimes you have to hit rock bottom, but you truly don't. Whatever you believe in, God, whoever is giving you these signs when you have that little feeling deep down in your heart that you want to change something. But the problem is that we ignore it, or we try to do it and change in a way that it doesn't work. Now that you know some of the things that I'm teaching you, it doesn't work. And so you give up. And so you have this desire deep inside of you that if you really told the truth and you could wave a magic wand about what you wanted in your life, there are some things that you would change in your life. And so then the question becomes, well, why are you going to let yourself hit rock bottom? Why are you going to let yourself have health problems? Why are you going to let yourself get burned out to the point where you have to walk away from a job that you've done for decades? Why are you going to let your intimate relationship with your partner fall apart? Why are you going to do whatever it is that you're going to do when you know that deep down in your heart, that's not what you want to happen? You don't have to. Your true self, your higher self, this embodiment of your best self, is trying to give you hints and clues on where it is that you need to move in order to feel better, in order to experience life in its most fullest form. But you are choosing to ignore it because you think it's better, you think it's hard, you tried the wrong things and they're not working all the things. So oh, you guys know my nose. So I've created a container for us, and a container is just a program. It's a place where we all can get together inside of a supportive environment where I can teach you the things that I'm talking about, where I can teach you about embodiment and about identity shifting and about how you can gamify change and about the things that you could do to drop into change more fully and faster so that you can start to experience the life that you want. And even so that you can start to begin by living life more authentically expressed as your higher self. And what you will find is that because even now, when you're thinking about the things that you want through the conditioning and where you are now and the identity that you are now, you're going to find that life gets better and better and better, better than you could ever dream of. Because as you start to level up and embody these different traits, these different energies, these different ideals that you say that you want for yourself, your outer world shifts, and your outer world shifts even better than you could have ever imagined from where you are right now. So if you want to learn more about this program, it's an 8-week program. We start at the beginning of January. We go through 8 weeks. I teach you all of the things, support you, coach you, mentor you, teach you. You're in an environment where other people are trying to do the same thing. Other people are going through the same thing. Even myself, we're all going to do it together. We're going to go through who we are, who we want to embody, who we want to become, who we want to drop into for 2023. And we're going to start that process at the beginning of the year so that by the end of the 8 weeks, we've all dropped in. We know what it takes to be successful. And by the time we drop into the identity that we've chosen for ourselves based on the desires that we have in our hearts and supported each other and move forward, and you've learned what you need to learn to be successful, you move into quarter 2 already noticing that your relationships, your career, your leadership, your money, whatever it is, that's all changing around you. You start to notice these big level ups because of the changes that you've made. And you can even start to collapse time, right? Because something that is now taking you, for some of you, you've been saying that you want to make changes year after year after year, or maybe you've been stuck at a plateau for a really long time, and you collapse that time into 2 months, into just 60 days. That means that you have a whole nother 10 months to now move on, move forward, and do something else that you want to do using the same tools that you learn in this program. So this is something that interests you and you want to be a part of this. I'm keeping the spots rather limited because I want to really be hands-on. We do weekly coaching calls and weekly lessons, and I want to be there fully for you to support you through your unique changes that you're trying to make and give you those hands-on tools and support and love and all the things that you need. And then the link will be with wherever you're watching this video. Let me see. I can also put it up on the screen, I suppose, for those of you that are watching it instead of listening to the podcast. But go to the link where you're watching this video. There will be more information. For those of you that do need payment plans, especially around Christmas, you've already went ham and forgot to think about yourself or invest in yourself, but you are listening to me, and there's just that little niggle in your heart that's telling you that you want to do it, but you are again trying to let your mind tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't, even though you know that you should. There's a way for you to get it. It's a no-brainer. And if you have any questions before you sign up, you can always reach out, but it's pretty straightforward, pretty transparent. Hope to see you there. And I will talk to you in the next episode, where I'm going to talk a little bit more from now until the 22nd about some of the changes that you can embody in order to start to see things move and shift the way that you want them to shift in your life. All right. Talk to you.